What's going on, guys? I'm Mike. Most people call me Summo.
I'm Anthony. Sis.
Dog. We got a lot of. You'll hear us call a lot of different dumbass, whatever. You know, you hear us call each other a lot of things. But so welcome. Yeah, welcome
to the channel.
Welcome to the channel today.
It's our first big project on the channel, so we're excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be a sick one. We're gonna start off with a pretty decently sized project, but we figured, you know, we've been thinking about doing this for a while, right? We've been thinking about just filming what we do. We like.
Absolutely.
We noticed there's a lot of things that we want to do where we're always looking for a little bit of guidance, and you know, both of us are fairly new to this, so we're trying to figure things out still. So yeah, there's not much guidance on how-to videos and stuff with a lot of tractors. So we figure, you know, how about we film our process of trial and error?
There's got to be other diesel mechanics out there, right?
Yeah.
It's not only us.
It can't be only us that are, like, you know, trying to figure this shit out. But yeah, so today we're gonna do a pretty big one. We're gonna work on this guy right behind us. This is
Cat 903C.
Cat 903C. We are
blown head gasket. So
blown head gasket. A few months ago, we noticed it was you know, losing coolant. It was overheating a lot, so we did the test. And we tested out and figured out that it does have a blown head gasket. So today we're going to rip the head off of this bastard. We're gonna have to get a measurement on the head gasket. Because we wanted to order everything and have it ready to go so we can just pull it apart, slap it back together. But unfortunately, there's like multiple different size options. So we're going to have to pull it off, pull the gasket off, and measure it to see which one we need to order.
Yep, so we got a little bit of work ahead of us today.
A little bit of work ahead of us today. But thanks for being here, guys. I hope you guys enjoy what you're seeing, and tap in. Let us know if you guys are also like us and just trying to figure shit out as you go.
Yeah, like I said, like we're just learning this shit. So, you know, I've been doing it for a couple years, but you know, we're not professionals here. We're getting shit done day by day.
We may do it professionally, but that doesn't mean we're professionals.
So
you know
we're learning as we go. We'll try to teach y'all little tricks that we know going on. So, you know, help us out, we'll help you out.
Yeah. If you guys like see things we're doing and you guys have like a better process or have been through it and know a better way, please chime in, comment, let us know. But let's dive right into it and start getting into our big project for the day.
Bang! Always check you're going in the right direction.
We're gonna start by just taking the hood off. We have to do a head gasket on this thing, and there's multiple different types of head gaskets, different thicknesses. So we're gonna, before we even dive into getting the head off, we're just gonna pull the hood open, pull it off, and get it out of the way so we just have more room to see how we have to attack this. I mean, we're both, you know, we both kind of learn as we go. This is only my first year doing diesel stuff. This is his third year where he was just like thrown into it without any prior knowledge at all. So we kind of just figure things out as we go.
Let's do it. We're definitely gonna have to pull this out so I don't fall on the head.
So we're gonna take this hood off. My guy wanted to time lapse that. 3 bolts. Alright, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna drain the coolant out of the radiator, and we're gonna pull the radiator out just so we don't have anything in the way for us pulling the head out, and we don't have to worry about bumping into anything, putting a hole into the radiator or the cooler next to it. So we're just gonna take them both out and get them out of the way. It'll be great. I'm gonna break this camera.
All right, so now that you're on the dirty ass ground and under this dirty ass machine, you got to reach up and grab this not so dirty ass hose right here. Open this up, start draining your radiator. Don't miss the bucket.
Hell yeah. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do while we let this thing drain out, it might take a little while because it's probably going to start draining from the block too, but we're going to start pretty much just disconnecting everything attached to the radiator. So like the kill switch, the hoses, any line to this cooler, the fan, the belt, everything we need to do just to get the entire radiator out of the way, out of any harm's way, so we don't mess any fins up, and we just have overall general more room to do what we need to do and get the head out and see what we're doing. It's and see what we need to take off to get the head out. Because obviously we want to do this in the most like minimalistic way possible. We want to.
If you didn't notice, half this head is under the seat.
Yeah, like there's the seat, and most of the motor is like under the seat. But we're gonna
clear out some room.
Yeah, we need some room, but we also want to do this in a way that we don't take off more than necessary. So we're gonna get the radiator out of the way so we have a better view of like what we can and can't take off, what we don't have to take off, and try to minimize the amount of work we give ourselves since we're already doing a decent amount of work. But we're gonna start detaching things. I'm gonna shut up and you guys are just gonna watch. Probably say one of the first things we didn't film it because we didn't think about doing this until after we already started, was the air box is out, like where the air filter goes, the whole air cleaner's out, and the battery's disconnected. Important.
Don't want to lose your bolts or forget where they go, screw them back in the hole that came out of it.
Definitely a pro tip. Definitely a pro tip. Trick I've always done to like when you have to get the belt around a fan is like I'll get it around one fin and then I kind of just like hold the belt out of the way and then rotate the fan so that it comes off everything. Okay, so I got the fan belt off and it's pretty much just there's a, I don't know if you can see it in the video here, but on the bottom pulley down here there's like a shaft that comes off of it, and the framing of like the radiator and stuff is like in the way of it coming off completely. But this is like the belt is out from around the fan, so it's no longer in the way of getting anything off. So we're gonna just leave that where it is for now and see what else we can get off before it comes out fully. Like Sis said, it's good practice if you can to just leave the bolts that you took out back where they were, and then there's no confusion where they came out of, and there's no question. Having these in here won't affect us taking it out more, so we're just gonna put it in.
Dog's changing tires. Tubes.
hoses are now off, so this can come out. And a little hose here, and then the bottom radiator hose. Well, I guess it would be the bottom radiator hose, right? Yeah, it would be the bottom radiator hose. Hi. Okay, we're gonna try to take the rest of the bracket that has the cooler attached to it. Is that a hydraulic cooler, Anthony?
Yeah, it's the hydraulic cooler.
Okay, so it's a hydraulic cooler. We think that we can pull it out with the bracket.
The best tool we never use.
I know. We really should try to use it more. So yeah, right down here, there's a hydraulic line right here. So we're gonna let that drain for a minute before we pull it out. Oh yeah, now you can see. So right there, the line came off of this knob right here. We're gonna let that drain for a minute, let the cooler at least run its fluid out. And then we'll pull this entire assembly out, and then we'll have a better look at the motor and what else we have to pull off to really just get the head off in as little steps as possible. All right, so we've got everything disconnected off of the radiator and hydraulic cooler assembly thing. I got the shroud out down there, and I actually also got the fan belt off because the shroud was out of the way. So now that the shroud was out of the way, I can pull the fan belt right out of here, no problem. So now this is all unbolted. There was 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here, to the frame of the machine. So we're gonna go ahead and just pull this out now, and then we'll talk about what it looks like we have to take off to get the head out and really get that head gasket out of there. So let's see what we have to do, and hopefully it's not too intensive. All right. Now, look at all this room for activities. Got the hood off. There was a bracket right here that I ended up taking off just because it came out to about here. I think it's the one that held the air box for the air filter. So that's out. Yeah. Hydraulic cooler, radiator out. The whole assembly that holds them both out. So now let's kind of look at what we think we have to do. All right, so take the head off. We'll take this fan off just so we don't break it. It looks like the alternator has to come off, and this bracket, because this bracket is tied to this, which is on the head and down on the block. So that'll have to come off. This will have to come off. This can probably stay. We're gonna have to undo the harness from all these mounting points. We go all the way back there, so that's gonna suck if there's anything attached to the back of the head. And I guess we'll find out. That'll come off. I think we can get away with dropping the pipe here off the exhaust and leaving the manifold on. And I don't know, I guess we'll have to see about all this. This is a lot going on in here, so we'll have to play it by ear and see what has to come out.
Take the fuel.
So we'll definitely have to take the lines off, for sure. I'm hoping.
We'll just take them off here.
I'm hoping that we can leave the manifold on.
Yeah, if we take these lines off
the
on both sides,
intake manifold on.
Be able to.
Yeah. So if we just pull out, yeah, I think if we just pull out those lines and we leave this manifold on, we'll be able to still get the head out, because now we have all this fucking room here. But yeah, like I said, we'll pull off the fan just so we don't break it. It's plastic. The alternator definitely has to come off because of this bracket. This bracket is attaching the head and the block, so that'll have to come off. We'll detach the entire wire harness from where it's mounted onto all these mounting points across the top of the head. And then here, hopefully it's just like some lines, like the injectors themselves, and yeah, hopefully we can get this thing out without taking literally everything off.
That's the goal.
That is the So we took off, the alternator was here, that's off. The bracket went from here to here, that's off because that would stop us from taking the head off. I took this hose off because this goes, actually I probably could have left that on, but I still took it off.
You live and you learn.
Whatever. You live and you learn.
You're not wrong, you're right.
You're not wrong, you're right. We took all these were the brackets that held the wiring harness on here. Then there's one on the back of the block, on the back of this tab here, you can see. Took that all off, so now we have a little better idea of what we have to do. So we're assuming that there's probably some head bolts under the valve cover, so we'll disconnect like this hose. That'll give us room to get these injectors out. We'll get the injectors out, and then we will hopefully get these lines off, which will be hopefully a little accessible once we do one at a time. And then after that, I don't know. After that, I'm thinking that maybe...
Well, we're leaving the exhaust manifold.
Yeah, we're gonna leave the exhaust manifold, so we're gonna try to drop that to
taking these bolts out just so we can
pull it right off of it. Yeah. Then after that, once we have the injectors out and the valve cover off,
we're ready to take that.
We should be able to take the head bolts off, and in theory,
that off.
We should be able to take this head off.
Getting some head.
All right. Unbelievable. But yeah, so we'll get to work on this thing a little more. But I guess we'll do it in regular speed this time so we can talk about it and see what the hell we're doing. And hopefully spread some knowledge, because for sure we have no idea what we're doing. We're just figuring it out as we go. That's it. All right, let's see what we can get. So this thing's really dirty. We're gonna blow it off because we're gonna be pulling out the some fuel stuff. We just want to be sure we try not to get anything into the fuel stuff. So we kind of just plugged up the two main open holes we have right now, which is going to be the thermostat housing, and then back there is the intake on the intake manifold. We got that just plugged up with a blue towel. So we're just gonna blow that off really quick, and we're gonna start taking off some stuff to get the get this head off. We got more. Just lines to the injectors, the fuel rail, the breather hose that goes from the intake to the top of the valve cover. So get those off, and then we'll be one step closer. It's a lot of dust. So, I mean, it's
we're a plant nursery.
Yeah,
we work in the dirt.
We work at a plant and tree farm. We work in the dirt, the mud. It's disgusting. Everything's always covered in mud and dry dirt. It's great. So, no avoiding it, but pull it off as best as we can. Like I said, all the big chunks are gone. That's what matters. So next, we're gonna take off We're gonna take off the hose that goes from the intake to the valve cover. We're gonna take off the fuel rail on the fuel injectors, and
We gotta get these the rail glow plugs off,
and
and then we'll start working on these fuel lines.
Yeah, we'll see where we're at. All right, so now you a little better view. So he took the breather hose that went from here to this nipple back here on the intake. That's off. Now he's just taking the what I believe is the return line for the fuel rail.
Yeah.
It's taking that off, and then we can get the rail itself off. Go slowly because yeah. So there's these. Well, let me turn the camera on so I can see if you can see. So there's these things that look like it's a washer on each side connected by a rod. So we obviously don't want to lose those as one falls off here and almost drops into the bay. So I'm going to take this away before I lose one. So we don't think we have to take these mounting brackets off, because I think we're going to actually leave the injector in. So let's get all these cracked, and then we'll start taking them off the injector pump down here that stays in the block, and we'll get each of those out. And then we will take the valve cover off, and we'll see the rest of the bolts to take the head actually off of the block. And I think we should actually be there.
Yeah, we should be.
Honestly,
should be rocking and rolling today.
Pretty good, man.
Yeah, let's get
Not
this
bad.
out of here for sure.
About what we think.
All right, so what I was told, and correct me if I'm wrong, was that when removing these fuel lines, you don't want to change the direction of these bottom, I don't know what they call them.
So I think that it's like the injectors themselves, yeah?
Yeah.
So I think that when you rotate these injectors, it changes the amount of fuel that comes out, and we know that
diesel's timing.
The diesel's fuel is pretty much how they mandate their timing. So from what we were told is that you got to hold this bottom one still when you're cracking this one free,
so that you don't change the
bottom one. Any timing, any fueling, anything like that. Correct us if we're wrong. Let us know in the comments if you know if that's true or not. But we're gonna get those out.
Paint.
Good, we're free.
There is a little trick that I learned from the last time I had to take fuel lines off a injector pump like this, is that sometimes you can't get this 19 wrench in between, like say the second and third of those bottom injectors. So what you'll end up doing is just sticking a big flathead in between them to kind of hold them still.
There it goes. Doesn't make it easy when everything was painted over. So now we'll take the valve cover off and expose the last of the head bolts that hold the head to the block itself. and we'll start taking those out because I think that everything that we need to disconnect is disconnected, and we can pull this little lady right off. Taking the last one out. All right, they're all loose now. So in theory, there goes all the bolts. But we got it broken free. It's out, and we can find all those bolts. Shit happens. All right, well, we found 9 of the 10 bolts. We'll find the other one soon. I'm sure it's probably stuck on top of something. We'll get a better view. But anyway, so we've got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, like 13, 14 bolts. We'll figure it out, I guess, the total. But those all hold the head down to the block, so I'm gonna get those off so we can get the head off. Oh, and they're gonna be tight. Oh. And we're also gonna do this like in a semi like sequential sequence, you know, to try to like
your verbiage,
you know, try to get it loose as uniformly as possible. Oh. All right, well, we wanted to just pull the head off with like the rocker arms all still on, but it seems like we really can't get to the head bolts that are underneath these rocker arms. It's like they're really in here, and you can't get a straight shot on with this bar. So it seems like we just gotta suck it up, take these off, and we were also thinking, like, if we can't get a socket on this, how are we gonna torque these to spec if we're doing it by wrench? So we're just gonna pull these off. You know, there shouldn't be too much to bring it on. Maybe some sort of tolerance we have to set, but that's okay. We're gonna try to make sure nothing changes, and it's gonna go back the exact same way. And hopefully, as little work as possible. But we're gonna pop those rockers arms off, and then get the last few head bolts out, and then we're gonna see if we can get this bitch separated. Alright, so that's the last one out. Now he's just gonna lift the whole assembly out as one piece. Just like that. And he's gonna go put it down, and we know that this can only go on in one direction, so there's really no need to place this like in any specific orientation.
But I forget things.
But he forgets things, so he's gonna. And we're also gonna be placing the push rods here so we can place them in line with their respected ones, because we do want those to stay in their respected positions. So once we pull these push rods out, we can get the 1, 2, 3 last bolts for the head, and we can try to pull this head apart. So these are stretch bolts. We're gonna have to order new ones of these before we put the new head gasket on. But we have to measure the head gasket to know which one's right, because there's multiple different options. So we're gonna measure the head gasket, and when we order the head gasket, we'll order the head stud bolts too.
Yeah, we got a list of things that we're gonna be ordering, because when you're taking things off, we're gonna get new gaskets for everything that we'll put back on.
Yeah, like new valve cover gasket, new exhaust gasket, like pretty much any gasket that was separated today, we're gonna replace. So let me just pull these bolts out, and we'll cut to us trying to break the head from the block. So now we got all the head bolts out. We're gonna try to separate the block from the head. What we do know is that we don't wanna like any type of surface that you're trying to remove from each other that creates any sort of seal. You don't wanna like smack a screwdriver in there, because you can put some sort of abrasion or cut into the surface that mates, and then it won't seal properly. So we're gonna pry on things like where 2 bolts meet that don't actually mate where they do, you know, like so right here is a good spot for us to pry, because you know in here will be bad because we're trying to slide something into where the 2 surfaces meet, and they have to create a tight seal. So we're gonna use like this bolt head and this edge right here, and we're just gonna put this in here and give it a And it's already broken free.
We got separation.
We got separation, and then we're gonna come on this side. So since it's already separated, I wouldn't recommend prying too hard on the timing cover, but since it's already separated, I just want to confirm lightly over here that it's also separated, and it is. So like I said, I wouldn't recommend the initial force, like heavy force of any type on the timing cover itself, because you can crack it. It's just cast, and then you're replacing the timing cover too. We don't want to do that. All right, so now that we've got that broken free, that's it. The head, and just lift it up, and the head is not completely separated. So we're gonna grab it from back here. There's like this ring here, and just lift it up. I can hear the head gasket pulling apart. Here's the head here, off of it. Pig mat. We'll also obviously put something over this so nothing gets in where the valve springs and retainers and stuff all sit. But yeah, we got this thing already starting to be covered up and away from any dirt and debris, and let's go find a micrometer and measure out this head gasket. All right, so the head gasket is 3 layers. So we got the micrometer here, then we're going to measure out the size of the head gasket, just the thickness of the head gasket, so we can get the right one. Okay, so it's around 1.25. So let's see what the options are and see if there's one that's near 1.25. All right, so we used the micrometer, measured it out, and the most common number we got was around 1.25 millimeters. So we called the dealer, and the options were like 1.20, 1.25, 1.30, 1.115. So it seems like 1.25 was our right option. So that's the one we ordered. We ordered all the other gaskets we need, like the thermostat housing and stuff like that. We also ordered new head bolts. Yep. Yep. And then so all that stuff should hopefully be here tomorrow. Maybe we'll get to it tomorrow. Maybe Monday. Depends on what time they show up. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for tuning in, checking everything out. We'll be back again soon with the next part of the video. But thanks again for coming. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time, guys.